It's Lahni DeAmicis for Planetary Calendar, back with another weekly forecast, this time for October 12th through the 18th. I seem to be getting the exciting weeks, and Ralph gets the lulls, but I don't know how the cards are falling that way, because we definitely start out with a bang on the 12th. It's a white circle day, and I know many of you might be saying, but the moon is void of course all day long. How can it be a white circle day? Well, the white circle is an indicator of a good day to start something. And there are things that you can start that don't necessarily need full concentration and attention at all time. It looks like a much more kind of a social kind of white circle day. So we can have them. They don't always have to be business oriented. So it's a holiday anyway. Some say Columbus Day, some say Native Peoples Day, but it's going to be a holiday where you're not working anyway. So let's take advantage of some social aspects with that, especially since we've got Mercury sextile Venus and Sun sextile Moon. No hard aspects, no planets below the number, meaning that the Moon is in harmonious aspects with both Mars and Neptune on that day. So the Moon is void of course that day in Leo until it turns into Virgo at 9:55 p.m. on the West Coast. So, enjoy the enjoyment of the Leo Moon, the Mercury, Venus, Sun, Moon, and just worry about the work another day. In fact, you might worry about the work the next day, because then we have a black box on the 13th, largely because Mercury goes retrograde. We can't have a happy white circle day on a Mercury retrograde day. But in addition to that, we've got the Sun opposing Mars. Now, Mars is still retrograde. The Sun is in Libra, opposing Mars in Aries. Aries, Mars wants to act most Mars-like in the sign that he rules. Now he's opposing the Sun, which is another dad figure, another person trying to tell Mars what to do, which he doesn't like very much, but maybe he'll listen. He's a little bit retrograde, so a little bit toned down there, but not the greatest of energies, while you deal with that sort of imbalance. Meanwhile, that Virgo moon is harmonious aspect with Mercury, Venus, and Uranus. So it's kind of a push me, pull you kind of day, but because of that retrograde, Mercury retrograde, that gets a black box in our book. The next day, the 14th, is Wednesday. The moon goes into Libra late that night, so it's mostly in Virgo. Good time to get things done and pay attention to details. The moon is in harmonious aspect with Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. Hardworking energy anyway, so you might as well just roll with that. On the 15th, we have a lonely Sun square Pluto, and that really does sound lonely to me. Pluto, I don't know what Pluto's doing in your life. Pluto has not left me alone for years now, because he's been hovering over my ascendant back and forth and back and forth. I've got a Capricorn rising, so I'm just about done with Pluto. I think we're going to make those t-shirts this year. I survived my Pluto transit, so we'll let you know if those come to pass. But we've got the new moon on the 16th, Friday the 16th, and that's taking place right by the star Sirius at 23 degrees Libra. That's a pretty powerful star, and that new moon energy is always activating because it's a new beginning. I mean, the moon has disappeared. It has gotten smaller and smaller from the full moon, and so that's a time when it's the completion of things that were brought to light by the full moon. Now we've got the new moon. It's both an ending and a new beginning where energy starts to rise again. So that, of course, is the Sun conjunct the moon, and that is the only aspect that's on the aspectarian line. We've got this moon moving into Scorpio late in the day after 10 o'clock p.m. And making difficult aspects to Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto. But, that whole energy is what we're working on all this long transit anyway. And then we've got the 17th. We still have that sun parallel moon. A little bit eased up of that fresh new energy of the new moon. But that sun parallel moon kind of gets you on your way to get started with the new projects that you're going to start with this. If they're Mercury ruled, great. They're in a good aspect with the moon in Scorpio. Uranus may be a little bit of an actor in that, Uranus likes to throw a monkey wrench into all your plans. But we'll see. I mean, it's in poor aspect with the moon because Uranus is in Taurus right now, and that's the opposite of that moon in Scorpio. But that Taurus-Scorpio opposition can really get things done, so it may not be as bad as it looks at first blush. But then we have another Black Circle Day on Sunday the 18th, where I call it the kitchen sink. We've got Sun square Saturn. We've got Venus opposite Neptune. We've got Mars square Jupiter. I mean, all the favorite players are in there, and they're not really playing nicely with each other. Thankfully, the moon is in a good aspect with Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune and Pluto. So at least it won't be an emotionally charged day, although, your Sun, Saturn is kind of responsibility aspects that are kind of at loggerheads with each other, like what you want to do, the Sun, versus what you should do, Saturn. And then the Venus opposite Neptune, sometimes that's nice. Venus can kind of tap into the inspiration of Neptune from a different point of view. And then we've got that Mars square Jupiter, which is always a bit of a challenge. But again, Mars is retrograde, so it's not as really dramatic as it could possibly be. The moon is void, of course, in the afternoon. Try to make sure that you stay away from people who you could have confrontations with. That'll just make that black box day a little bit easier. You can put off those discussions or whatever you need to do for another day where the aspects might support you a little bit better. So come back and see us for our weeklies. The weeklies go out on Fridays. We have our monthly forecasts. Visit us at spaceandtime.com or go to planetarycalendar.com and make sure you have your planetary calendar for 2021, because I'm going to tell you, if you think 2020 was exciting, 2021 looks to be exciting too, hopefully in a little bit better way. So we'll see you again soon.